Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to Megan TT Hobbies. Coming at you with an in-person recap from Thursday, what does that say? July 26th, 2018. So if you notice, it says Peoria Distillers. They took that name for a few series, so that was pretty cool. Versus the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. I was mainly there for Peoria because, as you well know, like Peoria is my favorite team, especially since they're in the farm system for the Cardinals. I've got this hooked up to get kind of the microphone going on here to see if that helps. I've got different stacks to show you. Finally, getting to this video, 2 weeks. So I will start with a few things. Did a little bit of pregame. So since it was the Peoria Distillers, they were doing some giveaways. Let me show you that first. So this was a 21 and over giveaway, and I fit into that, obviously. Peoria Chiefs Growler. I mean, that's glass. I was like, oh my gosh, glass. So what they did was, when you walked in for the first 1,000 fans that were 21 and older, they gave you a little coupon, and then you can get that in like the sixth inning or so. So the really cool part about this game was I met up with fellow YouTube, in person and TTM YouTuber, I guess, Connor. Connor, is it Watros? Yeah. And we got to do some autograph collecting and, chat and compare stories. And he's been really, 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 really helpful in terms of giving me some information because he goes all over the Midwest League. So, yeah, that was super cool. There's a few things that I got for him since I didn't have anything for that particular person, and so I have given those to him. I think there was just a couple for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and maybe one for Nick Plummer on Peoria, but that's a whole different story on Nick. So let's start out, but again, thanks to Connor, and I will link down below here his YouTube channel. He's got amazing in-person recaps. He does some consignment and 50-50, mainly for Midwest teams. So let's start out here. And I got these pre-game from CJ Saylor. And he was like, oh my gosh, these are such cool photos. And I was like, I took them. He's like, really? And I told him, I said, I'll give you some after the game. Because these were from probably about a month ago when he pitched. This dude, like fifth, sixth, seventh inning, he comes in and he throws 90-mile-per-hour heat. He's got some serious strength to him. But after the game, I was like fumbling around and trying to find the photos. And he had come into the game and unfortunately given up a home run, but he was still like super nice. And I like found all the photos and I gave them to him. So thank you, CJ, for being awesome like always. Again, those were before the game. And then for my set, 2 from Alvaro Savas. So 1 and 2. The last game I was at, he was the starting pitcher, so I never did get him. 2 pregame from Nick Plummer. He just wasn't having the best day. So I was getting something signed from another player, and Nick signed for my buddy, and my buddy he was like, hey, can you wait around to sign for my friend? And luckily I was then able to track Nick down because he didn't stick around and started walking to his car, but I got 2 more signed. This would have been 2 of 4, I think. So he's just having a rough day. But the team set ones were the main ones. For Paul Balistrari my favorite pitcher, probably player or top two on the Chiefs. So I had these other cards signed, but I had one more left. And so after the game, because he was the starting pitcher, no hitter on June 7th. I also don't have it, but they had game worn jerseys. I don't know if they're from last year or this year, but they're the Chiefs one that kind of looks like this, and it says Chiefs across it, and it's for number 35 for Paul. So he signed it afterwards, and he chatted with Connor and I. He's super awesome, super duper awesome, and a awesome pitcher. I can't wait to see him get called up to Palm Beach, Springfield, then Memphis, and then hopefully up to St. Louis. So let's keep going. Dennis Ortega, he signed our selfie from the prior game down here. He was not catching, and so that was awesome. He's a great guy. That was pregame, and then this was one of my photos, and the manager signed it, Chris Swagger, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here in the picture." So he's right there. So thank you to Chris. He is an awesome manager. He is working with his team. They are a fine, very awesome group of guys that he's got. So one of the ones I really wanted to get was Lucan Baker, who is I think he's the 3rd round draft pick for the Cardinals for this year. He's just out of, I think it's TCU, Texas Christian University. So he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pregame, yeah. So that's really sweet on the Stars and Stripes kind of foil thing. I had 2 pages for him, but I only showed him one because I was like, hopefully I'll get the other one signed, and so I wanted to get the really cool card signed. This one is really cool, the fireworks. And then my friend Connor, who was there, the other YouTuber, he hadn't got his Luke and Baker cards in, so I gave him a couple of mine so he could have some for his collection. So that's pretty cool. That's a older one. And then this perfect game one. And it's interesting that he's a pitcher because now he's doing like first base, but he was DHing. He's a big guy. So that was cool. And then afterwards he was coming out, and I think I caught him kind of off guard. He's not used to like being popular yet. And like his mom was walking out with him and stuff because I think he's like 21. I mean, he was born in 1997, so yeah, he's 21. And this is really cool on this USA Baseball. This came in the day I went to the game, and I got in the mail, and then I drove to Peoria with it ready. So this is the patch for 2014 18U national team. So yeah, that's probably my favorite. Like I said, this was post game. It was funny that he was kind of caught off guard by me asking him to sign, but he's really, really cool. We weren't sure quite what to expect because some of these draft picks that are going in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round have gotten kind of full of themselves, but not this kid at all. And I've got some really cool photos as he was talking to Chris, the manager, because I was sitting right next to the dugout. And I hope to get him signed from him when I see him again. So then this last massive stack is from Zach Kirtley. So like Paul, I would say Zach Kirtley is one of my other top 2 players. Super duper nice guy, a good baseball player, chatted with us, would sign any and everything for Connor. He signed a bazillion that Connor needed to get done. So first I will show you what he did pre-game, which was crazy amount. So he got a pro debut card this year. So he signed that. I mean, and look at that signature. That signature's awesome. And then Chrome Bowman. I didn't get him when he was there when I was there last time, because he was on the disabled list, and I think he like left before I got out there post game, and I didn't get him pre game. So this was awesome to get a whole bunch. And then the first Bowman, and then there's another pro debut. I just bought kind of a lot of them, and then these were the ones that I really needed. The two on the Peoria Chiefs. So by getting these three, I have like 5 or 6 more guys, but some of them have gone up and come back down. Some of them have gone up and not come back down. And so I got to figure out how to get the rest of these done. And then post game, he was like super duper awesome. And he had played, and it was late, but he chatted with us forever, and he's just a really nice guy. So these 3 Bowmans, if you need it for your set, let me know. I have no problem with trading. I don't sell, but I will definitely trade. And then these are my pictures from the game where he's like, yeah, I was on the disabled list and I couldn't do anything. And I was telling him about him because he was waiting for the outfielders to come out, and there's when he's just standing there, but then you could see he was kind of playing his catch with himself, because the outfielders weren't out yet, so he was like tossing the ball up to himself. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I couldn't do anything during that, and sorry, I was just doing the camera, and he's like, so at least I could, help and warm up with the guys. But not only did he do that, which was just crazy, then these are super sweet fragments of the farm that are in this Topps Pro Debut set, and they are for, let's see if we can get that, that's really small print. So it says New York Penn League Championship banner from Medlar Field at Lebrano Park, and these were for last year, for when he was on the St. College Spikes. So I'd gotten like 9 of these. So I tried to get ones that were different colors, and he signed them all. I really like this red one. Like I said, this was afterwards.